This is Thomas McComb here. I'm basically wanting to talk about, well, any of you guys that knew me on, the Estes Nation or AQW Destructor 8854, well, you probably not knowing what I look like. Well, this is what I look like. I'm quite a bit fat. Well, maybe a bit fat, I don't know. But basically, this is but for any of you guys that knew me on that channel, and for any of these guys that need help with what this thing I've got actually is, well, I guess, will be my guest. I'm gonna help you. Like there's this disability called Asperger syndrome. I have Asperger syndrome. And about what it is that you see the world in the opposite way of what everyone else thinks of the world, and this causes you to be very difficult to communicate with. Basically, if you get interested in something, you'll basically actually just bore people with, basically that's what I do. I mean, if I get fixated on something, I'll completely bore someone with if I think a story I want to tell that I'm fixated on, I'll basically never stop going on about it. So that is basically what Asperger's syndrome really is. So if any of you guys have this syndrome or disorder, don't be ashamed of it, because after all, we're not that different. We're just, well, we're not exactly different from everyone else. We've just got a different sort of minds that's set, basically, but we're no different from anyone else. We're basically, even with Asperger's syndrome, you can be cool. And basically what I want to talk about also is basically how to deal with it. Now, first thing I want to talk about is eye contact. Now, eye contact, people with Asperger's syndrome find it very hard to make eye contact. People with Asperger's syndrome tend to look away when they're talking, like what I was doing just a minute ago there, but I'm not so much doing it now. Basically, if you actually look at people more directly and don't basically just daydream while you're talking, that normally helps you cope with it, because it stops you from daydreaming, and that kind of unalters your perception. Basically, people with Asperger's, they would daydream constantly all day. Basically, that's what I do. I go into a world of my own, and when I decide to share my world of my own, that's when I start talking a lot of nonsense to people round about me. I would just say random stuff about stuff I'm interested in, and I just won't drop the conversation. I've also got ADHD, but I wouldn't like to talk about that. Now, Asperger's syndrome, people with this syndrome are quite talented in a way. I mean, I drew this picture, and I think I've made quite a good job of it. I think you already know who it is that I drew, so I don't really know if I need to talk about her, but Asperger's syndrome, I probably already said this, but it's part of the autistic spectrum, and it's nicknamed autistic spectrum disorder, which is short for ASD. Well, which is the long word for ASD. Now, if any of you aspies out there are like that have Asperger's syndrome, I would also like to share my story with you guys about me having it. I was diagnosed when I was 7. Basically, I wanted just run it past you that I've got a very weird accent because I come from a certain part of the UK in Scotland, which is a very small part, and so yeah, and it can be quite difficult to understand. Even people from Scotland might even find it difficult to understand, like from different parts. Like people from Glasgow, well, they tend to understand my language, but again, a lot of you people out there won't understand me. So I'm gonna try and make my accent as clear as possible. Now my story. I was diagnosed when I was 7. I didn't really know that I had it until I was 10. And my mum kept it away from me. Like, she kept it secret until I was 10, which I wasn't very happy about. I was very angry at my mum. And I was getting bullied quite a little bit at school, at primary school. Not as much as I got bullied at secondary school, but yeah, I did get bullied. And that kind of made me wonder, why am I getting bullied? Like, what have I done? And it's like, when sometimes I'm talking to people, sometimes they may just take, like, they might think I'm rude, and I'm not being rude at all. People will think when I say something important or say how I feel, they'll think I'm being rude because of the way I say it and the way my voice is. Basically, sometimes I sound angry, and that is my Asperger's syndrome. And people think I'm being very rude when I talk like that, and they accuse me. People, like, I always think, what have I done? People with Asperger's syndrome also get sometimes aggressive. They can have meltdowns, like sometimes I do. Rarely I have meltdowns, but I do have meltdowns occasionally now. I didn't have them as much. I don't have them now as much as I used to. And basically, this video isn't supposed to be like this channel isn't meant to be about all my mental disorders, or no, not so much, no mental disorders, but disorders like my Asperger's syndrome and all. It's meant to be on my on another channel I'm going to make in the future. Like, this channel is meant to be about funny things, but this video is not funny at all. It's fun. This video is serious. And this is to help people that have Asperger's syndrome. I'm kind of out of words here. I'll just think about what I'm going to say, then I'll come back. Basically, when I went to the secondary school, which we call the academy, I got bullied constantly, like, after I moved into 3rd year. Now, I don't know if this was because of my Asperger's syndrome, or if it was just because I wasn't being as funny as I used to be, like, in 1st year. But I got bullied constantly, and eventually I ended up having anxiety due to the fact that the stress I put up every day at school. Anxiety isn't a pretty experience, and I'll talk to you guys about that in the channel I'll make later about my personal life. Basically, these people, like I got bullied by them every day of my life, and it just never stopped. I was basically scared to actually go into school. I was like, basically, I just wanted to stay home in the weekend. I just didn't want to go to school anymore. I was scared to go to school because I knew what would happen. And I don't know what possesses people to actually make fun of somebody like that, really. I'm not attention seeking, but I'm just trying to help any of you guys that do have it. And I'm trying to share my story with you guys. And to be honest, I was really nervous about sharing this with you guys because it's kind of a hard experience. Anyway, guys, basically, if you want to act stereotype and be like the normal people, basically all you need to do is basically start making more eye contact often, and basically control your actions, and basically don't get too fixated on a subject. Like, basically ignore what, like, basically get this and be distracted a lot. If you tend to go on the computer, listen to music, do anything that interests you, that is great to distract you from. Basically, that takes your mind off all the worries and all. But and sometimes, in fact, sometimes being able to deal with it, like, in fact, sometimes getting fixated and talking about it to someone and boring them can actually be a way of trying to deal with it. But basically, if you can, like, make better eye contact, that is really going to help. I might do, now this is supposed to be my funny channel, and I'll be doing like funny things. I'll probably get a couple of dislikes with the funny stuff, but I guess it's worth it. But I mean, like, just getting, because I might get more more likes than dislikes, so it doesn't. Or maybe I'll just probably get a lot of dislikes, because sometimes when I try to show off, people just think I'm attention seeking then. But I don't know quite what I'm going to do in my channel yet, but I'm hoping you guys can maybe make a few requests on what I should do, and help me build up my channel, because I don't know what I'm going to do. This is the first video, and I don't think I'm going to make a video in a while, because I just have no ideas of what I'm going to be doing. Anyway, guys, I think that's going to have to be it. I'll see you later.